Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Wolf, and I am the board chair for the Jewish Community Relations Council. And I'd like to welcome you all to our second annual Hanukkah candle lighting. We're so happy that you're able to be here. We did hope that we could maybe convene in person, but that wasn't able to happen, unfortunately, this year. So thank you for joining us again virtually. We really appreciate your support. We're proud to bring together the many diverse communities in the Bay Area to work on shared issues. Just in brief, for those of you who don't know, the Jcrc is the public affairs organization for the Bay Area Jewish community, advocating for a secure Jewish future and a just society for all. And we really want to thank you for your support during this season of giving as we all celebrate different and diverse holidays. If you're interested, you can go to jcrc.org/donate. There'll be a link in the chat if you'd like to know more about how to support Jcrc. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to all the public officials who've made time in their busy calendars in December to be part of this. And I'm going to turn it over to Ty Gregory, who is the CEO of Jcrc.
Thanks so much, Jennifer, and Chag Sameach, everyone. Happy 8th night of Hanukkah. It's so great to see so many friends, and welcome to those of you who are just tuning in. So we gather here tonight as a part of our Here I Am campaign. And we know it's no surprise that over the past months and years, we've seen an alarming rise in anti-Semitism in our schools, in our houses of worship, at our community centers, and on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Our community has felt a heightened sense of insecurity and concern about our place in our communities and in our country. And so we decided at Jcrc that we would start a campaign not only to combat anti-Semitism and hate, but to talk about who we are as a community, to be resilient, and to stand for what our community is all about. So here I am, it's from the word Hineni, which you can find all over the Bible, but we wanted to make it accessible for our non-Jewish friends. It's all about reclaiming our place and what our values are all about as a community. So if you go to hereiamstories.org, many of you have heard about our campaign. We've done 2 press conferences, one in Oakland at Beth Abraham and one in San Francisco at Emmanuel, with civic leaders from city councils, boards of supervisors, African-American, Latino, Asian Pacific Islander, LGBTQ community leaders, faith leaders of different stripes, coming together to talk about this scourge of hate and how we can come together as a community to make sure that we can feel included and celebrated as a Jewish community. But we can't stop there, because the more we talk with our friends in other communities, the more that we realize that this sense of isolation is not just something that the Jewish community has been experiencing, both because of the realities of the pandemic and inability to build community and be with one another, and because of this rising sense of hate, Islamophobia, racism, transphobia, and so much more. Our neighbors are also feeling under fire, and there's so much we can learn from each other when we stand together. Our communities have disagreements. We can't let the Israel-Palestine issue stop the Jewish and Muslim communities from talking to and working together. We can't let issues of public safety stop African-American and Asian Pacific Islander communities from talking to each other and working together. There is so much more that we have in common than these disagreements, because ultimately, all of our different communities are feeling the same way, and we have to work together. So Shine a Light, the other part of this, is all about shining a light on hate. And this is a part of a national campaign this Hanukkah to bring together Jewish communities across the country for candle lighting ceremonies like this, to come together and shine a light on anti-Semitism and hate, and to come together across communities. That's what Jcrc is all about here in the Bay Area. And we are so delighted to have so many friends from different communities and different cultures and different backgrounds, and our elected office holders of different stripes who are with us here today. So with that, I want to thank everyone again for coming. And it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Congressman Eric Swalwell. Eric Swalwell represents Hayward, Dublin, Pleasanton, and Livermore in the House of Representatives. Before he was elected to Congress, he served in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office and on the Dublin City Council. In Washington, D.C., he continues to advocate for many of Jcrc's legislative priorities, like hate crime prevention and response, voting rights, defending our democracy, racial justice, and opposing the delegitimization of the Jewish state. We know Congressman Swalwell is off on parental leave following the birth of his second child, Mazel Tov from all of us, and we appreciate his Chief of Staff, Yardana Wolf, for joining us. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jonathan, who's going to share a greeting from Congressman Swalwell.
Good evening, I'm Congressman Eric Swalwell of California's 15th Congressional District, and happy Hanukkah. The story of Hanukkah is a story of faith, reliance, and hope in the face of impossible odds. These timeless lessons have given the Jewish people strength, perseverance, and hope for centuries, and continues to inspire Americans of all faiths. This last year has been incredibly challenging. We've had and continue to endure through a pandemic, rising anti-Semitism across the country, and of course, just an economy that isn't always helping and reaching every American. But the story of Hanukkah also reminds us that nothing broken or profaned is beyond repair. So in a year that has tested our resolve to stand as one people, I hope this festival of lights reminds us that there is more that binds us together than will ever drive us apart, and that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit has the capacity to shine bright. Happy holidays.
Thank you to Congressman Swalwell for recording that message. We know you would have loved to be with us live, but family always comes first. So in a moment, my fabulous colleague, Jonathan Mintzer, is going to introduce our 8 candle lighters, but we have a number of other elected officials with us. And I want to read their names for you. And if, since we're virtual, if you want to just use one of these reactions to applaud, that's how we're doing it these days. So I'm going to go through our roll call very briefly. Senator Scott Wiener from the California State Senate, Supervisor Katie Rice from Marin, District Attorney Chesa Boudin from San Francisco, Mayor Diane Howard from Redwood City, Mayor Lily May from Fremont, Mayor Charles Stone from Belmont, Councilmember Emily Beach from Burlingame, Councilmember Victoria Fleming from Santa Rosa, Councilmember Dan Cobb from Oakland, Councilmember Rachel Kurtz from San Rafael, Councilmember Karina Lopez from San Leandro, Councilmember Lucas Ramirez from Mountain View, Councilmember Greer Stone from Palo Alto, Councilmember Patrick Sullivan from Foster City, Director Clifford Thompson from Oakland Unified School District, Trustee Aaliyah Christie from the City College of San Francisco, Trustee Linda Lees-Dwyer from the San Mateo Unified School District, and Commissioner Deborah Decumos from the San Francisco Veteran Affairs Commission. If we missed you, ping us and we'll read your name later. I want to give a big thanks to all of the elected and civic leaders who joined us. And now we'll turn over to Jonathan, and I have to give him a big shout out for organizing this event. He and his colleagues Karen and Julia and Jessica and so many others did a great job. Jeremy, Joey, they all did such a great job putting this event together. Thanks so much, and over to you, Jonathan.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the kind words, Ty, and good evening, everybody. My name is Jonathan Mintzer. I'm the Director of External Relations here at Jcrc. I'm so excited to be here with so many amazing Jcrc lay leaders, supporters, and allies on this call. And tonight I'm really excited to have the honor of introducing our 8 featured candle lighters. All 8 of these public officials have been strong allies of Jcrc. And today I look forward to hearing them share a few words about how they will shine a light on anti-Semitism, hate, and bigotry this holiday season. So as many of you on this call know, before we light the candles, we traditionally say 2 blessings. The first of which, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the Hanukkah lights. And our second blessing for this evening, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who performed wondrous deeds for our ancestors in days of old at this season. So with that, I'm very excited to introduce our first candle lighter tonight, Councilmember Treva Reid. Elected in 2020, Treva Reid serves as Oakland City Council member for District 7, which covers the southeastern part of the city. Councilmember Reid has consistently spoken out against rising anti-Semitism. She recorded a Here I Am video, stood with the Jewish community during our Here I Am event in Oakland, and always picks up the phone when the Jewish community reaches out. Council member, we are so glad to have you with us, and we hope you can light the first candle and share a few words with us.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hello, everyone. Here I am on the 8th day of Hanukkah with you. And in our faith, 8 represents new beginnings. And so in 2022, I will continue to shine a light on rising anti-Semitism and hate by listening to, building relationships with, fighting for, and in solidarity with our Jewish neighbors, and working in coalition with other Black and marginalized communities to lead out on how we tackle the culture of hate and put an end to the hurt, the harm, and crime against our Jewish community. We will be unified in our pursuit of uplifting a culture of love, of peace, and valuing everyone's humanity and a just society for all of us in and beyond Oakland.
Thank you so much, Council member. We're so glad to have you with us.
Love y'all.
Our second candle lighter today is Assessor Joaquin Torres. Joaquin Torres was sworn in as San Francisco's Assessor-Recorder in February of 2021. We are so thankful that Assessor Torres continues to build strong ties with the Jewish community in San Francisco. He joined Jcrc's 2018 Israel trip and regularly attends informational briefings with the community. Assessor Torres, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. Here in San Francisco, we are a beacon of hope, and I know that I will continue to add my light to the light of lights to eradicate anti-Semitism and hate in all of our communities. As I light this menorah, I commit to bridging communities and building a diverse coalition of diverse communities united in creating the world that we wish to see, one of inclusivity and acceptance, and may the light of these Hanukkah candles show us the way. Happy Hanukkah.
Assessor Torres, always great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Our third candle lighter today is Mayor Kate Colin. Mayor Kate currently serves as the mayor of San Rafael. She's the first woman to hold the position since the city was incorporated in 1847. Mayor Kate raised 2 Jewish children at Congregation Rodef Shalom, I believe one of which is with her tonight, and continues to partner with Jcrc in the North Bay Jewish community. Mayor Kate, over to you.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah. And yes, I'm joined by my daughter, Jessie, and my husband, Jeff. My daughter's going to do the honors of lighting the candles. And kindling the Hanukkah lights tonight reminds us that anti-Semitism has endured for thousands of years. We gather tonight as a family and as a virtual community to acknowledge not only the resilience of Jews, but also to come together as a community to fight against hate and oppression together in the years to come.
Amen.
Mayor Kate, thank you for those wonderful words. We look forward to continue working together. Moving on to our fourth candle will be Councilmember Loren Taylor. Loren Taylor serves as Oakland City Council member representing District 6, which includes Maxwell Park, Millsmont, Havens Court, and Eastmont. We were honored that Councilmember Taylor recently stood with the East Bay Jewish community during our Here I Am event and continues to be responsive to our concerns. As he walks up right now, Councilmember Taylor, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you can light a candle and share a few words with beautiful, light the 6th candle and share a few words with us. And I'm asking you to unmute, so you'll have to, there you go. Excuse me, the 4th candle.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you, Council member.
Okay. You know what? I apologize. 2 seconds, the lighter is not working. Apologies. Okay. It is in the power of us together that we come and lean into our love, our hope, our faith, because that is how we will continue to fight against anti-Semitism, and oppression, standing up for our Jewish neighbors and community, while also setting an example so that our light will shine, continuing to let others know that we will not tolerate the hatred that has come and been such a challenge for us, and we shall overcome.
Councilmember, thank you so much for those words, and very impressed that you came prepared with the backup. Moving on to our fifth candle. Candle 5 is going to be lit by Councilmember Lisa Gauthier. Lisa Gauthier has served as the East Palo Alto City Council member since 2012 and served 2 terms as the city's mayor. The council member is a regular at Jcrc Hanukkah events, so for that reason, we're so excited to have her join us to actually light a candle together tonight. Council member. Sorry, I need to unmute you. Give me one moment. There you go.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Perfectly, thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I'm joined by my grandson, Camden, and it is so important that we bring the children in early so that they can understand what love is and what's so important. I am here and I'm honored to be joining you today. In the upcoming years, not just next year, I will work to shine a light on all that is hate in the world. We know that there is no room for hate where there is light. I will commend and make a commitment to my, I will make a commitment to my, to my Jewish neighbors and colleagues that I will stand with you. And I know it is so important that we stand with all those who are experiencing hate and issues within the world. We are better together than we are apart. Thank you for this. Is so important that we continue to grow. And I apologize for my little helper. Say thank you. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah to you both, and we love the excitement on his behalf. Moving on to our sixth candle, we're going to be lit by Auditor Jenny Wong. Jenny Wong is the elected Berkeley City Auditor, having served in this role since 2018. Auditor Wong is also an active member of the East Bay Jewish community, a joint member of both Congregation Nativot Shalom and Kehila Community Synagogue. We are so grateful that the auditor continues to use her platform to speak out against rising hate, impacting both the AAPI and Jewish communities. Auditor, thank you so much for being with us, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. I'm joined here by my husband, Mark. Great. This past year, we saw an increase in anti-Semitism and also violence and hate directed against Asian Americans. As an Asian American Jew, I felt supported by my Jewish community. And in this coming year, I plan to continue to speak out against anti-Semitism and hate. A just future for all requires us to come together in pursuit of justice and stand against attempts to divide communities and sow hatred based on religion, race, sexual orientation, gender, class, disability, or any other intrinsic characteristic. Chag Sameach, everybody.
Chag Sameach to you too, Auditor. Thank you so much for joining us and for your continued leadership on these issues. Our seventh candle will be lit by Mayor Ellen Kamei. Mayor Ellen was elected to Mountain View City Council in 2018 and is currently serving her first term as mayor. As a leader with a multiracial and multilingual background, we deeply appreciate her dedication to ensuring Mountain View and the Bay Area are a welcoming and safe community for all. Mayor, over to you.
Great, thank you so much. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. And on a personal note, it's my birthday, and I can think of no greater gift than to celebrate this last night of Hanukkah with all of you. In Mountain View, we strive to be a community for all. It's our city council goal. And in the coming year, I'm going to work to shine a light on the rising increase of bigotry and violence in our country, community, and our state, and inspire action to combat it. In our city, we've created an ad hoc subcommittee on race, equity, and inclusion, and we've been having increasing conversation about how we include all of our community. I stand in solidarity with our Jewish friends and neighbors and wish everyone a happy Hanukkah.
And same to you, Mayor. Thank you so much for joining us. And as we said, it is the last night of Hanukkah, so we have all 8 candles. Our final candle will be lit by Supervisor David Haubert. The supervisor represents Dublin, Livermore, and Fremont on the Alameda Board of Supervisors. We appreciate that Supervisor Haubert consistently makes time to meet with his Jewish constituents, and glad that he is joining us from his inaugural District 1 Hanukkah party. Supervisor Haubert, over to you.
Thank you, Jonathan. It is truly my honor to be here. And as we celebrate the 8th and final night of Hanukkah, we will continue to remember how important it is to be a shining light through the darkness, to let everyone know that we are here, that we're proud, that we are welcoming of everyone in the Jewish community, that we will stand united against hate, that we will not tolerate hatred or bigotry or any kind of that bad behavior anywhere in the world and anywhere in the country, and certainly not anywhere in my district. We're going to do this by continuing to forge strong relationships and collaborations with everyone in the Jewish community, all of our brothers and sisters throughout all of our cultures, because that is what we do here in America. I'm so blessed and honored to have my friends, rabbis from around the District 1, and we're so honored to be here. We're going to light the 8th candle right now. I also have Livermore Councilmember Trish Monroe here in the house. This is her menorah. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, and a special happy Hanukkah to my friend, Vice Mayor, I believe, Trish Monroe. So nice to see you, Trish. Supervisor, we know this is going to be an annual tradition in District 1. We're so excited to hear that. Thank you so much for joining us virtually. I muted myself. And with that, we want to take a moment to engage with everybody on this call. We want to hear about everyone's Hanukkah experiences, how you celebrate, your concerns around rising hate, and how we can take action together. We want here at JCRC, we want to end on a high note. So I believe I have the ability to launch our first poll question. Joey, if you want to go ahead and you can turn off the spotlight. Our first question that you will be able to interact with on your computer screen is a very important question. What is your preference on Hanukkah? Latkes, which are, as you know, traditional potato pancakes, or sufganiyot, jelly donuts? We have about 50 respondents so far.
This is a landslide, Jonathan.
This is a landslide tie. I was not expecting this, but we will reveal the results in a few moments. We have about 65 of the 100 people on this call. We'll give it
Maybe
about,
we're not so polarized after all.
I know, right? We thought this would be controversial, apparently not. I think it is probably appropriate. We'll give it a couple more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to lock it in. Here is our results. Overwhelming potato pancakes over sufganiyot jelly donuts here in this room today. I hope everyone is celebrating with some latkes or has already. Hold on. Oh, I didn't share the results. Now you can see it. See, you can take my word for it now. So we're going to go on to our second and third questions on a little bit more serious note. We would love to know, we've mentioned rising hate during the pandemic era. We would love to know your feelings during this time. We have about half of the people on this call have responded. We'll give it about another 20 seconds. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share the results. Thank you so much for sharing. We know that the past year and a half, 2 years, how difficult it's been for so many marginalized communities, the Jewish community, AAPI community, African-American, LGBTQ, and on and on. With your help, since we're all here together, I have hope that we'll be able to fight this rising hate, especially with our 8 featured speakers doing their work as well, and all the other elected officials and community leaders on this call. So thank you so much for your allyship and collaboration, both with Jcrc and all our other partners. But we want to end on a positive note. We want to take action here at Jcrc. So our final question for you, how will you shine a light? You can choose multiple choices here to fight anti-Semitism and hate in the Bay Area together. We have about half of the respondents. I'm very heartened to see some of these responses. Give it about 5 more seconds, and I'll go ahead and end the poll. Thank you so much. We hope we all are going to dedicate ourselves in this holiday season and into the new year to take action against rising hate and anti-Semitism together. If you haven't already done so, we hope that you record and share a Here I Am video. Continue to look up for resources through all marginalized communities to educate yourself and engage in those meaningful conversations. With that, I'll turn it over back to Ty, our CEO, for some final concluding thoughts.
Thanks, Jonathan, and thanks everyone for participating in our little unofficial survey. I just want to close first by thanking our board members and staff and all the elected and civic leaders that joined us this evening. We really appreciate your leadership and being involved in this fight. I want to close by offering 2 lessons that we've learned from other communities. One is we can't just fight anti-Semitism. We can't just be against what is happening to us. If we've learned things from the African-American community, we can't just fight racism. We have to say Black Lives Matter. And in the case of the LGBTQ community, we can't just fight homophobia and transphobia. We have to say love is love and be out with who we are. The Jewish community, if we are only fighting anti-Semitism, we are playing not to lose. We are only playing defense. And so in the year ahead, I'd like to challenge everyone to think about embracing who we are as a community. Embrace our difference. Embrace the complexity, diversity, multiculturalism, multi-religious practices, global Jewish peoplehood that we all care about. We have to choose to be different instead of being intimidated to hide who we are. Another lesson we can learn from the LGBTQ community. So I close with this. Find something to embrace your Jewish identity. Find a way to be proud of who you are. Yes, we can come together to fight anti-Semitism and hate, but we have to do more than that. We have to talk to our neighbors about what our community is all about. We have to demonstrate our Jewish values by standing up for racial and economic justice. And by doing that and expressing ourselves, the richness of our community, only then can we truly win and be embraced and accepted and continue to thrive as a diaspora Jewish community across the Bay Area. And that's what we're all about here at Jcrc, and we invite you to join us. So with that, I want to wish everyone a very happy holiday season. Merry Christmas to all those joining us who celebrate, and we'll see everyone very soon. Happy Hanukkah and good night.